Okay, I want to welcome everybody to our 6 weeks to spring into summer program. And basically, this is about getting to where you're at now. And by the time summer hits, it's about that hot body, getting fit, getting full of vitality, everything. And I'm here. My name is Bob Choate. I'm going to introduce Dr. Joe from Australia, Dr. Lori from Dallas, Texas, and we're here
Hey.
to actually help you guys out. So uh, let's go ahead and start with Dr. Joe. Go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit. Tell us a bit about what you do down there and in terms of helping people.
Well, it's great to be on the seminar with yourself and with Laurie. I'm a GP, it's what's called in Australia, in the United States, I've been known as a family physician. My passion over the last probably 10 years or so has been very much about people being healthy. Often you think about going to a doctor as I'm sick, I need to go and see a doctor, and obviously that's a lot of what we do, but it's really occurred to me that so much of the illness and sickness that I see day in, day out is avoidable. It's not that people are coming down with polio like they did in the old days. I don't see a lot of people with broken legs, the sorts of things that we see people with diabetes, heart disease, people who've had strokes, people who are struggling with their weight and obesity, people who have even different forms of cancer. And these chronic illnesses and conditions are not quite random. It's not like people have just woken up one morning, stepped out of their, got out of bed, walked down the street, and suddenly been struck by a bolt of lightning carrying this disease out of the blue. A lot of these conditions that we're seeing and that I'm seeing do come about from long-term lifestyle issues. And
Mm-hmm.
so many people want to do something about their health, but they're sort of struggling with how do I start, and it's too expensive, and I don't really know what's the right thing to do, and it must be easy for those people I see on the TV or on the magazines, but really I couldn't do that. I can't have a healthy body and do all these things, but the reality is that you can, and that's what
Yes,
obviously we're going to be talking about a little bit in this presentation and then on the 6 weeks course. There's so much you can do from the inside and out.
exactly.
It doesn't have to cost you a lot of money, that you don't have to have 3 degrees in different things. And we're going to be all about helping people get themselves ready for summer and obviously in the northern hemisphere, they're out here for winter, but any time of year is a good time of year to get healthy.
That's exactly right. And we're going to have a lot of information that you guys are going to learn out there uh, in every aspect. But again, it's about, whether it's summer, whether it's winter, or any time of the year, having a, a hot body, getting fit, getting into that outfit that you want. Uh, it doesn't really matter, again, like Dr. Joe said, the time of the year. And then when you start implementing all the stuff that we're going to be introducing to you, not only are you going to have a really hot body, but you're going to have all the side effects too. The side effects is better health, more vitality, being able to do stuff. Um, I mean, if you're over a certain age, I mean, if you're like my age or older, you're gonna be able to do stuff as somebody like that's about half your age or even younger, still being able to do all that kind of stuff and hitting the beach and looking good. Now, I'm not saying that I look good because I'm far from it. I still a lot of work to do, uh, but there's reasons. Dr. Lori, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself
Hi.
and just tell us a little bit
Okay.
about what you do and your purpose in all this.
hmm Well, like Dr. Joe, I have a passion for helping people. I have a passion for helping people create a life that they love, and that's what I do. I do health and weight loss coaching. Weight loss is my specialty, and it, my whole premise for being for doing what I do is really based upon my experiences as a young girl, as a young
Mm-hmm.
child. I watched my mother just suffer all of the time with ill health, and there was really not much I could do about it, but I knew intuitively that she had other choices to make in her life. And I knew that with different choices, her life would be different. So my mother passed away at a very young age of
Mm-hmm.
36, and after she died, it became my passion then to move on through schooling and life education to help others understand that they have control in their life. Because you see, we are not stuck with that potbelly or that ill health that runs in our families. We are not. It's about the choices we make. And the fact that you all are here today show me that you care enough about your health to make those choices. And for example, something as simple as drinking water is going to dramatically change the way your health is at this moment. So what I like to focus on, and what is very effective for people, is reducing inflammation in your body, because inflammation is the core cause of most illness, disease, and faster aging, on top of which it is also the reason for weight gain. So you will learn how to reduce inflammation, you will learn how to, even if you're struggling with your weight or your health and walking upstairs is difficult for you, you will be able to go upstairs easily. Imagine that once again. You will look amazing. Your body's going to rock. You're going to look great in those sexy jeans. There's a whole list of things that are going to happen for you with what we have to offer. That between the three of us, it's going to be just information-packed education that's going to change your life.
That's right. That's exactly right. Uh, and as Dr. Lori
And Bob,
explained, yeah, go ahead, Dr. Joe.
yeah, look, I was just going to chime in and say that with the body, like a lot of things in life, we need things in the right amount. So if you cut yourself, we know that if we cut ourselves or scratch ourselves, the area around it goes red, and that's inflammation, and that's the body sending blood cells to that area to promote healing. And that's a useful thing, and it lasts maybe a few days or something like that, and then it goes away and it's finished. But what Dr. Laura's talking about is what we call slow inflammation, where it goes on over months and years. And slow inflammation is
Mm-hmm.
a big contributing factor to heart disease, stroke, and cancer, which are various forms of cancer, which are the three biggest health issues. And it's also related to obesity. So a little bit like, for example, fire. Fire is really good if you want to heat up your house or if you want to cook your food. But if fire gets out of control, it can burn down your house. So fire is not particularly good or bad, but if we use it in the right way, it helps us. If it's out of control, it harms us. And it's the same with inflammation. And it's the same with, and that influences some of our hormones within our body. We need a little bit of adrenaline to keep us on our toes. If we have too much adrenaline and too much cortisol, which are the body's stress hormones, and again, that's going to contribute to dis-ease and ill health. So it's really about getting the body working with you and you working with your body. And the other thing I'll chime in, because a lot of the listeners
Mm-hmm.
here will think we're talking about great bodies and swimsuits, like this is only for women, but look, there's a lot of guys out there as well who are, thinking about how they might look and feel and their health and vitality. So this is very, very much for the guys as well.
Exactly.
That's right. And if
Exactly.
you look at inflammation as, you know, inflammation, silent inflammation is there. And a lot of people don't even realize that they are walking around with it. So they keep adding to it. It's much like adding gasoline to an already burning fire that Dr. Joe spoke of earlier. It just becomes out of control. So if by taking the steps to improve and reduce that inflammation, you're well on your way to optimal health and weight loss.
Yes.
And speaking of the mindset portion of it, Bob, that's your expertise, isn't it?
It is my expertise, but I think we all have kind of a set of expertise in terms of our mind because
We
we
do.
deal with a lot of people and we see
Hmm.
how they think and everything like that, and I know that who we associate and who we're around will have a big influence on how we think. And in my own family, because
Hmm.
I'm going to tell my own story. I remember back when I was in high school, and here I was, a competitive athlete in multiple sports, and I had, in high school we get the letterman's jacket, so we earn a letter and we have all these things, and I had all these pins and all this kind of stuff. So my dad comes up to me. He knew that I was, heavily involved. It really wasn't his interest though. So he says, "Son,
Hmm.
when you may be doing good now, but when you hit into your 30s, things are going to change. You're not going to be doing what you do now. Your body's going to not be able to respond. And it's going to do certain things, and then everything's just going to change." And well, with me, I continued to do the stuff that I do. My 20s, my 30s, my 40s, my 50s, and now where I'm at now. But again, that influence does have an effect. With my
What a
father,
great story lesson.
yes, well, with him, he had a belief system. His mindset carried him, and now he was at a certain age, but at age 39, he had his first heart attack. And
Hmm.
later, when he was in his 40s, he had another one. Then he had a stroke. He ended up dying in 1983 from the complications of a stroke. And that was 2 days after Christmas.
And
That,
largely
yeah,
and largely the result of his lifestyle choices,
yes, his
right?
lifestyle, but started with his
Mhm.
beliefs in terms of his own mind.
Mhm.
And again, remember what I
Mhm.
said, how
Mhm.
that can affect your mind. Well, that's the same thing. My kid
Mhm.
brother, uh, he didn't follow. He was also an athlete back in high school, but he believed the same way as my father. By the time in his 30s, things would change. Well, it's exactly what
Mhm.
happened. Now, Lori, guess at what age
Yes.
my kid brother had his first heart attack?
Mm.
Age
Um, let's
39.
say 39.
Yes,
Ha. Okay.
39. And he ended up having another heart attack um, almost 11 years later. And then he had a
Mhm.
mini stroke right after that. And his heart functioning is down really, really low. So, and he has a heart valve that's
Wow.
so this year, as we are doing this recording, I came across him in the middle of the street as he was driving. It looked like he was going to have a heart attack right then and there. So uh, again, his
Mhm.
mindset, he followed the beliefs of my father, and so he followed the same program
Mhm.
of not taking responsibility for his health. And this is what you guys addressed, the silent or chronic inflammation. So the inflammatory
Mhm.
response built up in his body, just like my father, over a long period of time.
Mhm.
They build up um, arterial plaque throughout the whole system, which led to their downfall. So what they ate, my dad smoked, my brother, a lot of sugars and all that kind of stuff. And I know this is your expertise, Dr. Lori, in terms of you talk a lot about sugar
Mhm.
and inflammation within the body. So again, they are the
Mhm.
result, starting with their mindset, which contributed to the actions that they took in their life. So,
Right. And if they had a different belief, a
Mhm.
different mindset, they would have been able to reduce that inflammation throughout the body and
that's
live
right.
a quality life. essentially what we want to do is we want to turn on the good genes and we want to turn off those bad genes. So in doing that, we will be able to um, detox our body. We will lose weight.
That's right.
Will lower, obviously, by lowering the inflammation, all of these things will happen. Will literally um, reduce something called telomeres, which are protective caps on the ends of our DNA. And these, as we age, these telomeres start to become shorter and shorter. And through different lifestyle choices, inflammatory ones, they become even more so. So that gasoline I was talking about, that analogy,
Hmm.
that is like adding gasoline to an already burning fire. Those telomeres then become shorter quicker. And it's so what we're doing literally is preventing that to the degree that it happens quicker. And sometimes you can grow them too. So your telomeres. So all of everything that we're discussing here is going to help you do that. Your skin's going to glow. You'll feel youthful again. And you know what? It isn't much effort on your part at all. It's really about just changing your mindset that Bob alluded to earlier.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
So yeah. So, and it's not
And
about,
I think it was,
depriving yourself. Is it, Dr. Joe?
I think it was Henry Ford who said whether you believe you can or you can't, you're going to be correct. So it's very much about
Mm-hmm.
starting with mindset and belief. But then it
Mm-hmm.
is also about actually putting those beliefs into actions, and it's what we do each day. And one of well, I'll take 2 steps back. I think we all know or have seen people who perhaps age about, say, 50 and look like they're about 70, and we see people who are 80 who look like they might pass
Right.
for 60. And there are reasons for that. And sure, some of it starts with genetics, but genetics are your building blocks, is what you start with. But we all share genes that are roughly 99.8% the same. So we all have a pretty similar gene pool to everybody else. And genes, a little bit like light switches, they can be switched on and off. And what determines whether they get switched on and off is very much how we look after them and our lifestyles. And one of my favourite analogies is the car. And most people, I'm sure everybody listening, drives a car, or most people will do that. And if your car runs on a particular type of gasoline, if you put diesel into that car, it's just not going to run very well. It's just not going to happen. If you drive a Ferrari and you
Right.
put diesel into the tank, you're going to be breaking down by the side of the road. Now, if you put the wrong fuel into your body, it may not break down by the side of the road like the car, but it's going to start to get sick. It's going to start to get inflamed. It's going to start to get diseased. Not the first day, not the second day, maybe not even the first year. The body's a bit more forgiving than the car, but sooner or later it will start to happen. So we can learn about what are the right things to put into our body. How should we be using our body, which is the exercise? How can we change our thinking patterns? What should we be doing about rest? What should we be doing about relaxation? How can we maintain our bodies at least as well as we maintain our cars?
Exactly.
Excellent. That's a
Exactly.
great analogy. Yes. Yeah. And it's all of this is going to literally create the you want to be and live the quality life that you deserve to live. So if you want to lose weight, if you want to just become healthier and more vibrant, it's easy to do. And you'll be eating sumptuous food. You can have chocolate, you can have fresh nut butters, you can have gourmet teas and red wine or whatever that you like, but that is nutrient dense. So, there's just 6 weeks of information packed to just take you to where you want to go and how
That's
you
right.
want to feel.
Yes. Uh, as we
So,
take everybody through the 6 weeks, and and you will learn all the different aspects of getting to that hot body and optimal health. every
Mhm.
detail what you need. You know, again, and everybody here has stated that no matter what information
That's right.
that we give you, and I love what Dr. Joe said, it's about action. So as you go
Hmm.
through each step in each week, learn from it. Get extract the information that you need in order to get to where you want to get to. So you're going to end up setting goals for yourself. You're going to start developing that better mindset. And again, every time you listen to it, every time you get new information, that's going to also affect your mindset. So as you listen to Dr. Joe and what he talks about uh, on his 8 pillar program, and you listen to Dr. Lori as she talks about uh, dealing with the inflammation and eating the right foods and everything like that. And I'm going to be throwing in not only mindset, but I'm going to be throwing it in fitness and everything that you'll need. But it all comes together because we're a whole
Yes.
person. You can't
It's in
separate. Yeah, go ahead, Dr. Lori.
That's
I agree with you, yes. And, and I just wanted to add that the information that you will be receiving is leading edge information. You have three people on your side that have sifted through an enormous amount of information to bring it to you. It's leading edge, and it will help you learn to turn those switches on or off, help you lose that belly fat, help you feel sexy, strong, youthful again. So now you have that key with the three of us here on your side to help you profoundly change your life, essentially.
Exactly, exactly.
Hmm.
and as been said, uh, it is about dealing with the whole person. Medicine, in particular, has become very compartmentalised. We see a particular
Exactly.
doctor for a heart, a different doctor for the liver, a different doctor for the gut, and then you come away with different ideas. There's one doctor told me to do this, and the other doctor told me that if I do that, it's a problem, because there's too much focus on parts of the body rather than the whole person. We can look after the whole person. Sure, it doesn't make it impossible that we might not get sick from time to time. But if our focus is the person rather than the organ or disease, then we're really focusing on what works for us. And there's a lot of very good information that people are going to be getting about how to maintain themselves, how to be in charge of their health, how to stop their bodies from getting inflamed, how to use their mindset to advantage rather
Hmm.
than disadvantage. And I think it's going to be very empowering. I think people are going to say, wow,
Very
I can
Hmm.
actually do this stuff.
And
amazing.
yeah,
Yeah. And, for example, just go ahead, Bob.
no, go. For example, I want to
For
hear that.
example, just taking one multivitamin will help your cells, literally, the research shows, perform 10 years younger. Just taking a multivitamin every day. And it's amazing the amount of information that we have. So go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, and actually, I know both you, Lori, and Dr. Joe have mentioned the importance of water, and that's all part of this of delivering the multivitamin and the
Mm-hmm.
nutrients and everything else to your cells and then keeping your
Mm-hmm.
body hydrated because there's a lot of important aspects. You're going to be learning more details on why water is important and more details on why supplements are important to you, why different nutrition is important to you, and
Mm-hmm.
exercise because and then again the mindset aspect of it. And
Right. And essentially, how to reduce that inflammation that's silent or chronic
mhm.
so that you can lose weight or you can create that vitality, that health in your life.
you know I talked about my father and my brother and what they do or at least what my father did and what my brother continues to do in terms of his lifestyle. I didn't mention because my uncle in Japan, my uncle Keiji, who still is very vibrant, and he's 97 years old and still going strong and still works out and martial arts, and his mindset is like rock solid. I mean, this guy is, he lectures and he writes and everything else. So he continues to live a vibrant and healthy lifestyle because number one, he has the attitude. Number two, uh,
Mm-hmm.
he moves his body and he eats pretty healthy. And in the Asian culture
Mm-hmm.
as a whole, uh, they tend to believe in the whole body aspect, and that's what he does. And that's the person I've actually learned from. He's one of my mentors, in terms of living that kind of healthy lifestyle and all throughout the life. So those of you that are past a certain age, and if you say you're too old to get started, you follow this program because I don't care where you're at in terms of age. Because if my Uncle KJ can continue to do it at his age, and there are other people, so many others out there that are past a certain age. You may have heard, those of you in the United States, about the gentleman who decided at age 59 to go back to playing college football. And this is American football for those of you outside the United States. And it's pretty hard and it's pretty rough. So, but he went back to college to play out his senior year at age 59 and still is very vibrant today. He's now approaching his mid 60s and he's still in remarkable shape. In fact, when he went back to playing football, and he was a linebacker, and he was a starting linebacker and a captain on his team, he outperformed physically those his fellow teammates that were basically one third his age. He was old enough to be there for a lot of them, their
Mm-hmm.
grandfather. So can you imagine your grandfather getting out there and engaging in sports at a high level? So, so
Mm,
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. So my thing is, you follow this program, and it's not. Don't make some freaking excuses because I'm going to challenge you. You're gonna each week you're gonna have something, and you're gonna take action on it. So I don't want you just to be somebody who's just going to gather a lot of knowledge. That's not what this program is about. It's about you taking action because those 6 weeks, yes, you will gain
Right.
knowledge, but it's about knowledge to action, as Dr. Joe mentioned. Knowledge to action, and you take action, and in each area of your life, and you combine it together, and you're going to get a healthy and hot body. You're going to be vibrant, and you're going to be full of
Mm-hmm.
vitality and everything else. So, um, Lori, Dr.
Right.
Joe.
And it's not that tip. It's not your typical webinar either. It's a 6-week webinar, and like I said, it's leading edge. So it's not. It's information that is not only. It's a webinar that's packed with information, but it's also action um, oriented too, so that your accountability is with us, and we're here to help you and ensure that you are successful in your life.
And I think with health, people really feel overwhelmed. I mean, there's just, it's
Mm-hmm.
on the TV, it's in the newspapers, it's in magazines. I was down at the supermarket tonight with my daughter. We were getting some groceries, and you get the checkout, and there's all the magazines, and one of them's got how Mel B from the Spice Girls has lost 15 kilos. Another one on the front page is somebody else's diet program. The third one was something, one of the Kardashian sisters, I can't remember which, has now got her best bikini body since at least last week. And people get really confused as to, well,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's fine for them, but how does that work for me? And I hear all this stuff and I read all this stuff, and not only that, but didn't they tell me the exact opposite last week? So this is going to be about providing each week useful information that you actually can take away and use. And it's not difficult. People have been conditioned to think that health is difficult and you have to go and see somebody because you couldn't possibly do things by yourself with some information. And there's truckloads of information on the internet, but you don't always know what's useful and what isn't. So in these seminars or these webinars, what people are going to get, it's very practical, simple, down-to-earth information that you're going to say, yeah, I can do this. This is not just for celebrities. This is not just for people who've got millions of dollars. This is something I can do today. I can have a glass of water instead of a glass of soda. I can eat an apple instead of a donut. I could take the stairs instead of going up the lift. Very, very simple things that actually make a difference, and understanding that it makes a difference, and then being able to apply it.
Exactly. You know,
Yes, excellent.
and
Yeah.
it's funny that you mentioned, Dr. Joe, about simplicity, because I was reading an article just recently regarding walking. And I know that, Lori, you've been talking a lot about walking and everything, but this article was very interesting
Hmm.
in that it says that people should start walking more like an Australian, which
And what might that be?
in essence, what it means is to not just like simple walk around the blocks, but just get out, way out, like into nature. So it's more like a hike and just uh, going with a group of people and just taking those long walks and to challenge yourself. So it's not just, again, those simple little walks. If you happen to be somebody that's really heavy overweight, yes, start off simple, take a walk around a block, but eventually get to being like an Australian. Carry your water with you, carry everything that you need. If you need a hiking stick, which may help some of you that may have some troubles, use those hiking sticks, but get out there and start walking and walk like an Australian, as that article stated. So, Dr. Joe, what's your take on
Hmm.
that?
Look, I'm very, very pleased to hear that. I wouldn't think it's fair to say that all Australians walk because there's no shortage of overweight and obese Australians either. But we are lucky; we have very favourable climate in much of the country, and I get out and go for a run a couple of times a week. I go to the gym a couple of days a week, and I see people out and about walking their dogs, walking with their kids. We're fairly fortunate here. We've got nice clean air. There's lots of pathways to walk, and we don't get much snow in Australia, and not around the coastal areas anyway. So you do it most times of the year, and it's a great form of exercise. People think, oh, if I want to exercise, I have to be a bike rider, or I have to run 50 miles, or I have to do something really fancy, or I don't have this expensive equipment. You just need a pair of basic walking shoes. You don't have to have something that's really expensive, just a comfortable pair of walking shoes, and out you go from your front door, and you can go for a walk. And if you're not terribly fit, fine, walk to the end of your street and back. If that's as far as you can make it the first day, do that the first day. That's fine. Keep doing that for a number of days. You'll be able to walk a little bit further, and you can build it up over time. And there's no great expense. You can do it when it suits you. People say, look, I can't go to the gym because I need a babysitter for my kids. Take the kids with you. They can use a walk as well. Take the dog with you if you've got a dog. So it's a very easy thing to get involved with.
Exactly,
Hmm.
exactly. And
It is.
I know
Yeah.
that there's been a number of, and I've looked at some of the walking programs that have come about, and one of them uh, have been through, actually quite a few are coming out of your country there, Dr. Joe. Uh, Again, it's important to start from where you're at and just keep it easy. And that's what you're going to be learning. Now, when we get to the exercise portion, obviously I'm going to be giving you some tips on accelerating your progress on burning fat and getting healthier. But from this program, from what you're listening to now, let's keep it simple. Let's keep it simple. So start with the walking and challenge yourself a little bit each and every day. And Dr. Lori, do you have any tips on nutrition that somebody can take away today that they can do?
Hmm.
Now, you're going to get more into detail on the nutrition aspect during this webinar. You're going to,
Absolutely.
yes, but
Yes.
just a really simple tip on what somebody can actually do.
Hmm. I would say, starting today, to start drinking more water, because most of us are walking around mildly dehydrated and we
Yes.
don't even know it. So we're suffering things like lethargy, fatigue, joint pain, headaches, and weight loss
Hmm.
because we're mildly dehydrated. And if you think about it, you know, when our cells are dehydrated, they're not functioning optimally. So when your cells slow down, so does everything else slow down in the body. You're not thinking clearly, so you're not the best you can be. So I would say, starting today, to absolutely start drinking that water, energize your body. You'll see
Hmm.
a marked difference. And it also promotes weight loss, because if you think about it, the cells are slowing down, the cellular function is slowing down, and so does your metabolism as a result. So start drinking that water, and you'll feel a whole lot different.
Perfect. Perfect. Uh,
Mm.
Dr. Joe, was there anything that you wanted to talk in terms of uh, coming from your perspective, and just keep it simple on what somebody would benefit, not only going through the whole program, but before they even get started into the 6 weeks, what could they do now on a practical way?
Mm. Look, Laurie stole my thunder a little bit
Uh-oh.
because drinking
Uh-oh.
more water is something I'm going to do. But that's all right, though. I've always got something else that we can add here, but I
I'm in
really
trouble.
Uh-oh.
support that. I absolutely, not at all. I absolutely support that as a critical thing to do. The other thing that we can do straight away is find a little bit more incidental movement through our day. We
Hmm.
spend a lot of time sitting, and there's been some studies that show that apart from the importance of regular exercise, incidental movement can make a difference. So when you go to the mall, instead of driving around 3 times trying to get a spot right near the door, go for the furthest spot. Nobody will be battling with it. Nobody will be battling with you for it. So you can do that and walk a little bit further. When you're when you go to your office, go up a couple of flights of stairs instead of taking the lift. When you're having your breakfast in the morning, maybe sitting down at the kitchen bench, stand at the kitchen bench. Even something as simple as standing when you can instead of sitting means that your body's having to work a little bit more. You're not going to wear out. It's not going to make you really tired, but it will help. And studies have shown that every hour less that we spend sitting can actually add time to our lives. So just like incidental exercises, park a bit further from the shopping mall entrance, take the steps and see what you can do standing.
Yeah, and
I
guess
love
what I'm
that.
doing right now? And I've been doing it through this whole presentation. I've been standing,
Standing.
standing.
Yes, you're standing up.
I've been standing up this
That
whole
is
time and
See?
just moving my body. I'm actually doing some squats right now from where I'm at. So yeah, I fully agree.
show off.
Show off.
But again,
Oh, that's great.
I think what Dr. Joe just mentioned is that yes, get your body moving. You can stand, and Lori is absolutely right. Hydration, 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 all is important. And I'm going to tell you what you can do right now on a practical basis is just to get out and write down how you're feeling. Just get like a little
Hmm.
journal, get started before you get started into the 6 weeks. But just start writing down every day, um, on not only how you're feeling, but also the what you're eating, the kind of actions that you're taking. That way, you'll be able to see what your daily life is really like. So just document it, document in a journal or in a diary.
Right.
You know, you can do it at the end of the day. You can write down and says, well, this is this is how I felt throughout the day. This is the kind of actions I took and everything like that. And you'll be able to go back and say,
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't do anything, and I could actually make my life much better, based on what I actually did during the daytime. Uh, you know,
Right.
yeah. So that's just a
Accountability is huge.
yes.
Huge.
And I know that Dr. Lori is
And
big on that. Go
yes,
ahead.
very big. That's a yeah, that's a form. What Bob is talking about is a form of accountability, and it's one of the key. It's one of the most important keys in creating optimal health and weight loss. So whether the accountability comes from just writing down every day or listing what you're eating or drinking, etc., very important. A lot of people think it isn't that important, but it really is key in what you need to do. Yeah, good one, Bob.
Okay. So
Mm.
so as we're
I was going to say,
coming,
and
okay,
accountability.
yeah, go ahead, Dr. Joe.
Yep. I was just going to try and go to responsibility. That really is about what we do, not about what they or somebody else does. So it's not the fault of the fast food chain if they've opened an outlet opposite your home. It's really whether you choose to go in there or not. So it really comes back
Right.
to us being responsible and in turn as well as those accountable.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
That's excellent. Yeah,
So
very good.
so as each one of you have listened, you've been given some good advice, some information on the things about, health and vitality, and having an understanding of what it takes to get to that hot body, to get fit, whether you live in a northern hemisphere and as we're approaching summertime and having that really hot body, or in a southern hemisphere as you're approaching wintertime. And by the way, being fit and healthy is not about the climate or anything like that. It's just being fit and healthy all the time. So it doesn't matter.
That's right. That's right.
So
That's right.
when you make that decision, take action now, because the problem, what I've noticed from my backgrounds in a Marines and martial arts and in every aspect of life, including health and fitness and weight loss and whatever, those that take action and immediate action are the ones that tend to get things done, the ones that get to reaching their goals and everything. So
That's right.
now I'm not going to tell you guys uh, uh, to sign up right there and today. But what I will say is those that succeed take immediate action on what they do.
That's right.
Follow the
And
advice
you are
that,
not stuck with,
yes.
yes,
So follow the
you're not
advice of
stuck
what
with that pot belly.
that's right. That's exactly right. You are not
Hmm.
your genes, you're not what your parents were, you're not what
Yes,
anybody else is.
that's
So
right.
so I,
Excellent.
so I would suggest number one, taking immediate action on all the advice that you've been given today. It means hydrate. It means start moving more. s- Start making yourself accountable through journaling, and most important,
Change your beliefs.
change your beliefs. And the way you're gonna really celebrate to get the proper knowledge to make it all come together, the whole person come together, is going to happen in this 6-week program. And the decision is ultimately up to you, whether you want to gain more knowledge on practical advice on every area, the more detailed, so you don't make certain mistakes, so you learn, well, this is what's going to happen if if I do this or if I don't do this. And you're going to learn every aspect. You're going to have the knowledge in terms of, what I'm going to give you in terms of mindset. You're going to learn so many different things, so many different amazing techniques, from even with dealing with stress in your life and everything. So that's part of what I'm going to be offering. And
Hmm.
Dr. Joe will take you through his um his different pillars and explain to you how that works. Dr. Lori will take you through every area of nutrition that you can imagine, uh, that will give you so much power and control in your life in terms of that and what you need to do, because if you eat properly, you're going to lose probably a lot of fat really, really fast. And then I'm going to also bring
Hmm.
in the exercise programs that's going to get you really, 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 really fit. That's going to accelerate your fitness levels. So, but it's all about everything coming together. So that again, the choice is
Right.
yours. The choice is yours. And again, studies have proven that people that take an immediate and massive action are the ones that tend to succeed. And when they do it consistently. And that's what we're going to do over the
That's
next
right.
6 weeks. You're going to get knowledge. You're going to take action each week on that knowledge, and you're going to be consistent about it. And by the time you come out of the end,
And it's going to be fun.
it's going to be fun. Exactly right.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think
So if
that's
you
the thing,
want that,
that it is about taking action and making that decision to get
yeah.
on board, because if you don't, everything will just continue as it is.
Hmm.
So this is the fork in the road. Do I just keep
That's
going down the
right.
same path and complaining and feeling that I'm just not getting how I'd like to be and my body's just like not how I'd like it to be? Or do I do something different and do some new things and take some different ideas? And this is really the time to take action, and it will be fun, and you'll get a lot of
Yes.
information, and
Yes. And it's
you'll
leading
enjoy getting
edge
on board and doing things
information.
with us.
exactly.
Hmm.
So
Excellent. Yeah.
again, the choice is yours. You want that beach body, you want vitality, or do you want to um, stay where you're at and stuck, and and then a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, you wish you had taken the action, listened to the information that you got during this 6 weeks, and it's only 6 weeks, and you're going to get so much out of it. And we're going to offer
Yes.
you,
And if you want that new you, that slimmer, youthful, that energetic you, then sign up for this life-changing webinar. And we can we can
So
tell you that your life will profoundly change.
and by the way, you can sign up for each of the week, one at a time, and that'd be $97 per webinar. Uh, or we can offer you a special deal here and now. I'm just going to throw this in. So, uh, and I'm going to have Dr. Joe and Dr. Lori agree to this. If you sign up today, um, I can cut it in half. So instead of basically just under $600, it'd be like 297. But you know what? I'm going to cut it all the way down to $197. So basically, you can be paying for
Sure.
two webinars, and you're going to get all six of them. Is that fine?
Wow. It's a good deal.
Okay,
That's fine with me,
well,
Bob.
I think people who take action should be rewarded, and that's
exactly,
a
I
reward.
agree.
So immediately
exactly,
you're already in
Yes.
front from the day one.
exactly. So,
And it's always that first step that's the hardest, you know?
yeah, and
And this is going to be an easy one.
and
Yeah.
it's and we want to do that again for the people that really want to take action, that massive and immediate action, and we do want to reward you guys out there. And more important is that the value you're going to be getting out of it, and those of you that are on medications, and as Dr. Joe knows, there's a high cost in that, in both uh, monetary costs and in physical costs when you're stuck on on meds on trying to take care of your body. So you're going to learn all this kind of stuff, and you're going to be saving yourself quite a bit, both money and in health, and end up with that spring in
Mhm.
your step
So true.
and smile on your face, and getting
Oh yeah.
to that level when you were a child again. So, uh,
Yeah.
any final thoughts there, Dr. Joe, starting with you?
Look, I think this is really, I think it's time to thank all the people who listened in today, and I'm sure they've got some good value. And look, I would really look forward to welcoming people to the 6 week program. And my sort of final words would be, look, now is the time to make a choice and to act. And look forward to connecting with you.
Yes, likewise. Dr. Lori.
Hmm. Yes. Yes, I would say that I too am thankful to be here and to be connected with you all, and look forward to helping you on the journey to creating better health, and letting you in on a really big secret, which is that you do have control in your life. You have control over the way your body is either healthy or not so healthy or not healthy. So you have control over that, and I just want you to know that we're here on your side, your team, just taking you all the way to optimal health and weight loss.
And
So thank you.
thank you. And yes, this is Bob Show, challenging you all to get out there and take that immediate action, not only with this program, but just every day take those steps, and start living an optimal life, and get to that hot body and have that spring in your step. And again, this has been Bob Schott, along with Dr. Lori Shemek and Dr. Joe Kostrich, uh, all the way from down under, and then her from Dallas and me from Los Angeles. And look forward to working with each and every one of you. And just have a good day, good evening, and again, take action now. Thank you.